so we're going to continue with the next couple bars of this chorus, and I'm going to explain why some of these things work and what they are, so you can write your own melodies and find what you like. My objective with this stuff is not to just give you a list of 100 licks and for you to practice. I really want to explain things so you can create stuff on your own, start hearing these things with your ears, and give you the means to fish, not just give you a fish, so to speak. So this first melody here starts on a B natural and closing a B flat on a C7 chord. I'm bypassing the 2 chord here, so I'm really playing C7 the entire time over 2, 5, and 1. Super common thing to do. So let me just play this line real fast. Here's another position. So what does that look like? It's a C half-whole diminished scale. But I'm going to say that calling this a C half-whole diminished, or it looking like a C half-whole is more of a symptom of hitting chord tones on downbeats and using chromaticism from the bottom as an approach tone. When you are really using a diminished scale, you're kind of leaning on all the notes, you're accentuating all the different major and minor triads in it, you're probably doing some patterny stuff, but that's not what's happening here. What's happening here is we're really creating the sound of a C7 flat 9 and using that chromatic note from below to get to those C7 flat 9 chord tones. This line I would not say would work just as good backwards as it does forwards, because mainly this A natural here, that A natural is the major third of where we're headed, which is a minor chord. So we can maybe move this into a different position and I can explain the sound a bit better. So if we were to play it down here, so hitting that A natural again on the way down, it's kind of telling the tale of an F major resolution, but that's not where we're headed. So if we were to head down, I would actually flip this A natural to an A flat. And we get a better idea that we're going to head to F minor, and then when that F minor hits, it feels like, okay, yeah, I kind of felt that coming. Which is reinforcing the fact that this A is really just approaching B flat, which is a chord tone of C. So ascending, we don't feel like we're doing anything in F major. You know, this could go any which way at this point, but following that, descending to this A flat, it's a big difference from that. Again, because that A is not as effective, it's not really spelling out a chord change ascending, because it's leading us to that B flat. Now when you descend, we can do the same approach. We can use C7 flat 9 as our downbeats, but we're not going to approach them with chromaticism. Usually when you descend, your approach notes are going to be kind of more inside to the key that you're in or where you're headed. Descending, we might take that same concept, again, C7 flat 9 notes on downbeats. We'd probably wrap it more so like this. Which is a different scale. I do something a little bit funky in there. We have 3 chromatic notes here. I could have done a couple of different things to avoid that. One thing I'm trying to avoid that I like even less than those three chromatic notes is this augmented second sound. That's a very distinct sound that if I were to play, I would probably really want to lean into it and make it sound like I'm doing sort of like a gypsy-ish type thing. We need this E natural to drive this change to F minor, and we need the D flat as well to, again, spell out the C7 flat 9, this pull to F minor. But one way to do that, and there's a couple ways to avoid that augmented gypsy sound, is to also apply this sharp 9 as well as the flat 9. So yeah, we'd have, and then here I'm just wrapping the root from the bottom because I'm out of space. We can try that in a couple of different spots. So if we were to do that here, that's the exact same thing. Ascending, it's the chromaticism from the bottom hitting C7 flat 9 notes. Then descending, a slight change to avoid the A naturals. And we try one more position. Yeah, I like these types of melodies because they're not modal. They're really getting the most out of these notes to point where you're headed. Again, this A natural on the way up for a B flat sound. But on the way down, heading to the 5th of the C7 with an A flat, because again, we're avoiding that major sound. That isn't entirely what I played in the solo, but it's a a way that you can take that and apply it ascending and descending. So again, what I did in the solo. So it didn't really descend it, but I wanted to kind of get into that detail a little bit so you can play around with it. And so this next line. It's actually more straightforward. The 2 chord, this D half diminished, this is just root, root, chromaticism down to the minor 7th, flat 5, which is part of the chord. So nothing crazy yet. E natural, which is a natural 9 on the 2 half diminished chord. More of a modern sound, but actually, that natural 9 is actually in the key of C major, so I don't even find it that out or modern. I kind of feel like it's to put an E flat there, which would be more common for a half diminished chord, is actually more deceptive because we're landing on a C major later. So I'm just kind of doing that sooner rather than later. Now here we are on the G7, and this is really just a tritone substitution. So instead of G7, we're spelling out a D flat 7. There's the 3rd and the root of the tritone sub. A natural, but I'm just enclosing the A flat. Then just up the triad. And then C major. All diatonic. A flat here, but just enclosing a G. Again, an A flat on a downbeat, but we're fixing it just a moment later. I don't actually have a whole lot to say about that one. That one's pretty straightforward. This E natural and the D flat. Again, more of a modern sound, but since this 2-5 is heading to C major anyway, I don't find it to be that strange. The sort of more common voice leading approach using this natural 9 here might be something like using it to land on the 9th of the resolving chord. really do that. I'm not really voice leading that in this line. Just kind of using it to spell out this wacky augmented triad. You know, when I say wacky, it's really not that wacky. Yeah, so, and then the 5-chord standard tritone substitution stuff, using an enclosure. Again, downbeat on a non-chord tone. Fixing it a moment later, kind of just, it's an enclosure. You know, we're not really reinventing anything there. Here's a downbeat on a non-chord tone again, but just using it as an enclosure. I think that kind of wraps it up, but the diminished piece of this I find really, really interesting, and I'm probably going to spend a little bit more time shedding it myself. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to let me know, and I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Thanks.